Hello everyone. So before we start, this is a real SMS that I received on my phone back in 2015 when I was living in London. So the message was saying, "Nice talking to you the other night, S." Um, so what I want you to do until the end of this presentation is to think, what would you reply to that message, right? So I'm not going to reveal my answer now, but I will do this at the end of this session. Now, keep in mind, just to make things a bit more, let's say, spicy, that the sender of the message was not in my contact list, but at the same time, the number was looking legitimate. Okay, it didn't look like a spam or something like that. Okay, so have a thought. I mean, you've got around 19 minutes or so. Now, my name is Antonis Michalas. So we will be doing together the course Security Protocols, helping Alice and Bob to share secrets. The course code is comp.sec220, and this presentation is about the logistics of the course. Now, I'm working as an assistant professor at Tampere University, and I'm also working at the network. I'm part of the Network and Information Security Group, which is led by Billy Bob Bramley and myself. So as you may already know, I'm the course leader of this course. You can see my email address here. My office is at the Tieto Talo building, room E206, and office hours every Thursday, 3 to 5. But keep in mind that I've got in general an open door policy, which means that whenever you need something, you can just come to my office, knock the door, and if I'm free, we can have a chat. My personal website is alphamichalas.com. You can find some personal and professional information there. Now, apart from myself, there will be some teaching assistants that they will be helping you with your coursework and any kind of assignments that you will have to submit during this course. Their contact details, you can find them on the webpage of the course. So please make sure that you regularly check the course webpage for any kind of assignments related to the course. Now, how to email me. I'm sure that by now you all know how to send an email, but let's see how you can send an email to me. Now, first of all, please, it will be really convenient if you can use the course code on the subject of your email. This will help me sort out the emails, find emails easier, and so on and so forth. Apart from that, you can start your email by saying, "Dear Professor Antonis," but this, I don't really like it, and apart from that, it makes me feel a bit old, so please don't use it. So you can start by saying, "Dr. Antonis, dear Dr. Antonis," but again, it's something that I don't like. I don't like using these titles. I don't find any reason for having these titles, to be honest, so don't use this either. So you can just start by saying, "Hi, Antonis," or if you are really excited, considering the fact that we might start communicating, and you should be, you can start by saying, "Hi, Antonis," and with an exclamation mark. Now, at the end of your email, obviously, there's no need to use any kind of formalities like "best regards" or any other things that you don't really mean, right? So just your names, your name, or "thanks, your name," it's fine. Okay, good. Now imagine that this, what about this slide? Imagine that this is basically our universe. Okay, so what I try to do here is just, cover it with some, let's say, terms of relate to cryptography and cybersecurity. And my idea is that probably now, lecture 1, day 1, you don't know many of these terms. For example, you might not know what OTP stands for. Most people, they think that it stands for one-time password, but it's not what it stands for when it comes to cryptography. Or you might not know what exactly is attribute-based encryption, what DH or AES stands for. So the idea is that you see this during lecture 1, and once you see it again at the end of the lecture or at the end of the course, you should be able to recognize most or not all of these terms. Okay. Otherwise, if not, I think I would have failed. Now, the aims of the course, first of all, we will introduce some issues associated with internet and network security. So we will describe several security protocols. We will see how to design protocols and how to attack protocols. Okay, so we will go from the design phase to the attack phase, and then back to the design phase again, and then attacking again and back, and so on and so forth. Now, apart from that, we will describe basic cryptographic primitives and see how we can use them in order to secure the communication between two or more parties, Alice and Bob. We will introduce some special topics, research topics such as e-voting, cloud security, email security, searchable encryption, and some, anyway, hot research topics, I would say. Okay, email security is not hot, but yeah. And then we will also see the most important thing, I guess, it's that we will try to see the world from the eyes of an attacker, right? So we will try to, define what an attacker can and what she cannot do, okay? And then based on these attacking behaviors, we will try to attack some of the protocols that we design and then try to fix them in order to prevent certain attacks. So the objectives of the course is basically to analyze and design secure and/or privacy-preserving communication protocols, to learn how to apply cryptographic techniques to secure communication systems, and learn how to use cryptographic primitives in applications. Okay. Now, apart from that, we will also identify several limitations of cryptography when it comes to the design of real-life applications, and we will understand why cryptography is not the solution to all of our security problems. Because if someone thinks that by just encrypting some data, for example, just by using cryptography, he can solve all of his security issues, then basically he either don't understand the problem that he needs to solve, or he doesn't understand cryptography. Now, about the reference material. So the idea is that you shouldn't need the book in order to successfully complete this course. Okay, so if you just follow the lectures and the videos and all the material that I will be uploading on the webpage of the course, you should be able to successfully finish the course. Okay. Now, each lecture will consist of several video segments plus some links to further reading and other videos and material as appropriate. For most of this course, I'm not going to be able to put my video on the screen, so basically I'm planning just to use voice over slides. Okay, voice over video. So that, the idea behind this is that, if I put my face there, my video there, this will take some space, some room from the actual screen, which means that it will take some space from the actual slides, and I would like to avoid that. As you will see as we go, some of my slides are quite condensed, so I prefer to keep to use 100% of the space that I have there. Now, so slides, some research papers, some other videos and links, and then if any of you wishes to, get some more details about the things that we will be learning in the class, you can have a look at a, I think, very nice book, which is called Introduction to Modern Cryptography, and it's written by Jonathan Katz. You can find an online free version. Now, about the assessment. So you will have two courseworks. The first coursework will count 50% of your mark, and it will be a theoretical one, which means that you will be given a list of exercises where you will have to solve them by using pen and paper mostly. And then you will submit just a PDF with your solutions. About the first coursework, bear in mind that after the second lecture, you should be able to start working on it. And after the fourth lecture, you should be able to fully complete it. So please don't leave it for the very end, otherwise you will not have time to complete it. Now, the second coursework will count 40% of your mark, and it will be a programming coursework. So you can use any kind of programming language that you prefer, and this will be either an individual coursework or a group coursework. So in the group coursework, basically you will be asked to work with some colleagues that you didn't choose on a subject that you didn't choose either. And the idea behind this is, we will try to simulate, let's say, your professional life after university. Okay, so you go to work as a developer or whatever in a software company, and then you cannot choose your colleagues and you cannot choose the projects that you will be working on. Okay, so both courseworks will have what we call a qualifying mark of 40%. What does a qualifying mark means? It means that in both courseworks you need to get at least 40% in order to pass the course. Okay, so if you don't get at least 40%, you will fail. Now, in general, in order to pass the course, you need to have at least 50%. Okay, so the qualifying mark is not the pass mark. Okay? There is a clear distinction between them. Now, apart from these two courseworks, you will have 10% of lab exercises. You can see this as a bonus. So the lab exercises will just be some really simple exercises where you will be seeing how things that we will talk in the lectures can work in real life. Okay, honestly, the labs will be really easy. It's like a bonus. Now, how to pass the course? So let's see an example. So first of all, we have a formula to calculate the final mark. So the formula, you can see it at the bottom of your screen. It's pretty simple. It says 50% of coursework 1 plus 40% of coursework 2 plus the 10% of the lab exercises will give you your final mark. Good. Now, let's assume that we have two students, Yoni and Billy. So Yoni got 90% in coursework 1, so he did very good, but only 39% on coursework 2 and 100% on the lab exercises. Based on the formula that we have down here, his final mark should be 70.6. We round up, so 70.71 out of 100, which means that he passes the course, right? Now, on the other hand, Billy, he got 40% on coursework 1, 50% on coursework 2, and 100% on the lab exercises. So based on the same formula, his final mark should be 50 out of 100. Now, based on these two figures here, we would expect that both students would pass. However, you might be surprised that Yoni would fail. Okay? Even though Yoni has a higher mark than Billy, he fails because he didn't manage to get the qualifying mark in one of the two courseworks, right? So in coursework 2, he got only 39%, which is lower than 40, which means that he couldn't pass. In this case, Yoni, he needs to give again coursework 2. He will have, anyway, 3 chances in total. Now, on the other hand, Billy, he, even though he got a much lower mark than Yoni, he fulfilled all the minimum requirements to pass the course. Hence, he successfully completed the course. Good. I hope now this is clear. Now the outline I'm gonna follow in this course. I'm gonna start by describing the basic cryptographic primitives. So we'll talk about symmetric encryption, asymmetric encryption, digital signatures, how we can sign a message, how we can verify the signature, how we can use them in reality, what is a digital certificate and how we use them, and then we will describe how to design security protocols, where we use them, and how to attack them, and then redesign them in order to make them more secure. Apart from that, we will see some protocols that are widely used in real life, and like TLS, formerly known as SSL, and Kerberos, so protocols that we basically use almost every day without even realizing it. Finally, we'll introduce some special topics such as searchable encryption, cryptographic cloud storage, and so on. And this will basically complete the course. Right, and now we are back to the first slide, okay, where we see again the SMS that I received back in 2015. I don't know if you thought about it. So nice talking to you the other night. As I mentioned, this is true. I did receive it one morning on my mobile phone. What is not true from this slide is this green box at the bottom. So I never replied to that message. Now, the reason that I never replied, even though the actual SMS looked legitimate, I mean the number looked legitimate, is that the message itself was a bit vague, okay? Meaning that it could have been sent from a female to a male or vice versa. So S could stand for Sarah or for Sean, right? And apart from that, you know, the sender does not really specify which night we were out talking. So I'm sure that, you know, at some point I was talking to a person that was his name or her name was starting with S, right? But the sender didn't specify which night we were out. So I was afraid that, you know, it could have been one of these traps, let's say, where if you reply back to the message, these guys have a legal way to put some extra charges on your monthly bill. So that's why I never replied. Okay, what I want to say with this example is that we all need to be really cautious and careful when we start exchanging information in the digital world. Okay, because we really, especially with people that we don't know, but even sometimes with people that we do know. Okay, so I'm sure that at least some of you have at some point received some strange messages from people that you trust, friends of you, but you know their accounts might have been hacked or something. Okay, so we need to be really careful. Now, just for the records, the message was sent to me by a friend of mine who just wanted to, you know, fool around with me. Luckily, he didn't achieve that. Okay, thanks a lot. See you later.